Welcome you all for the model power system stability. Let us go for the introduction for the power system stability. An electrical power system is consisting of many individual components connected together to form large complex system capable of generating, transmitting and distributing electrical energy over a large geographical area. During normal operations, the different components of the power system remain in equilibrium with respect to each other. However, during disturbances, considering short circuit fault, loss, loss of large generating units, drastic change in the load, the different components of the power system may not remain in equilibrium with respect to each other. Even under these circumstances, the expectation is that the power system should operate satisfactorily and successfully meet the load demands. It means that the system should remain in stable. Traditionally, the stability problem has been one in maintaining synchronous operation of the system. Hence, the term stability can be interpreted as maintenance of synchronism in the power system. Since we know that the power system rely on the synchronous machines for generation of electrical power, the main requirement for the reliable operation of the system is to keep the synchronous generators running in parallel and with an adequate capacity to meet the load demand. So when the synchronous machines are electrically tied in parallel, they must operate at the same frequency. That is, they must all operate at the same speed. So which is called the synchronism. So there are necessary condition for the satisfactory power system operation is that all synchronous machines should remain in synchronism. A major disturbances upsets the balance between mechanical input and electrical output of the generator with respect to the results that some generators may accelerate while other may decelerate. Thus, there is a possibility of machine may fall out of the steps. However, the modern power system operates under complex interconnections, controls, and extremely stressed conditions. Instability of the power system may be encountered without loss of synchronism. For example, we consider that a sudden collapse of the large load can make the system unstable without losing the generator synchronism. So hence the traditional definition of the stability is not complete. So there was a change in the definition by IEEE Power System Dynamic Performance Committee have proposed the definition that power system stability is nothing but the power system stability is the ability of an electric power system for a given initial operating condition to regain a state of operating equilibrium after being subject to a physical disturbances with most system variable bounded so that practically the entire system remains intact. So if the power system may be stable for a particular disturbance and unstable for some sort of the disturbances, it is impossible to design a system which is stable under all disturbances. The power system is generally designed to stable under those disturbances which have a high degree of occurrence. The response to a disturbance is extremely complex and which involves practically all the equipment of the power system. So let us consider that a short circuit leading to the line isolation by the circuit breakers which will cause the variation in the power flows network bus voltages, and generator rotor speeds. The voltage variation will actuate the voltage regulators in the power system, and generator speed variations will actuate the prime mover governors. The voltage and frequency variation will affect the system loads. So during the stable system, practically all generators and loads remain connected, even though part of the system may be isolated or preserve bulk operations. On the other hand, in unstable system condition could lead to cascading outages and a shutdown of the major portion of the power system, possibly leading to massive blackout. The objective is to that the overwave of the power system stability phenomenon. So comparing to the fault analysis studies, stability studies are more complex. Okay. So let us understand what are the classification of the stability. So let us understand the classification of stability. Before that, there is a definition. The stability of an interconnected power system is its ability to return to normal or stable operation after having been subjected to some form of disturbances. So under these things, we are going to analysis under different circumstances. So that is nothing but transient, dynamic, and steady state stability. Generally, the transient stability is analysis by using first swing. So here we are considering a simple generator model without considering any control system. So other than this first swing, we will consider the multi-swing operation. Then for the dynamic stability, we will do modeling of excitation and turbine governing systems. And next we have steady state stability. Here we are considering that constant voltage source. So this is the block diagram, gives the overall classification and the description of the categories and the subcategories. So generally the power system stability is consisting of three different parts, that is rotor angle stability, frequency stability, and voltage stability. So in rotor angle, this is subject to a small disturbance and transient stability. Okay, and this is considering for short term duration. So we have to control the rotor angle within a short span of time. Then we have frequency stability. There are the two different types, that is one is short term, another one is the long term. Then next one is voltage stability. So in voltage stability, large disturbance voltage stability and small disturbance voltage stability, considering short and the long term. To facilitate this computation, three fundamental assumptions we are making for the stability studies. That is, the first thing is that only synchronous frequency currents and voltage are considered in the stator windings and the power system, and consequently DC offset current and harmonic currents are neglected. Okay, this is the first condition. Second one is symmetrical components are used in the representation of unbalanced faults. So we know that. So we can, by with the help of the symmetrical components, unbalanced fault can be resolved using symmetrical components. So with the help of these things, we can able to analysis for symmetrical components as well. Then we have the third one, that is generated voltage is considered unaffected by machine speed variations. So we know that always depending upon the output voltage, the machine speed will variations, but here this is one of the assumption that without affecting that the generated voltage is unaffected. So considering the first one, that is rotor angle stability. So under steady state condition, there is a equilibrium between mechanical input and electrical output of the generator, and its speed remains constant. So there is a major disturbance upsets this equilibrium and the generator accelerates according to the motion of the rotating body. So the rotor angles will be under wide range of the variation, and this process the synchronous of the system gets affected. So generally the rotor angle stability, which is referred to the ability of the synchronous motion of an interconnected power system to remain in synchronism after being subjected to a disturbance. So here again the rotor angle stability is further categorized, that is nothing but considering small signal rotor angle stability, or consider that it is steady state stability. So it is nothing but it is the ability of the power system to remain synchronism under small conditions. So what will happen in this condition is that stability depends on the only initial operating state of the system and not on the disturbance. So these such kind of the disturbance occur on a system because of the small variation in load, and generation instability may result in a non-oscillatory or periodic increase of the rotor angle, or there is a possibility of increasing amplitude of the rotor oscillation due to insufficient damping. So that's what the non-oscillatory or a periodic increase of the rotor angle. This is instability is largely eliminated by using modern fast acting voltage regulators, and second form is instability is more common, that is nothing but increasing amplitude of the rotor oscillation due to insufficient damping. So generally the time frame of small signal stability is the order for 10 to 20 seconds after there is a disturbance occurs. The second one is we have large signal rotor angle stability, or generally we'll consider it is transient stability. So this is referred to the ability of the power system to remain synchronism under subject to a large disturbance. That is nothing but that's a sudden, means a large is nothing but a transient. So such kind of the disturbance can occur due to the load change or heavy switching operations or loss or generation of the fault in the system. So this may last only for few cycles, hence the study period of the interest is usually limited to 3 to 5 seconds following the disturbance. The system response, which involves large exertion of the generator rotor angles. So transient stability depends both on the initial operating point and the disturbance parameters like location, type, magnitude, etc. So generally the instability is normal in the form of periodic angular separations. So the cause of the voltage instability is usually the loads. So that's nothing but the rundown situation causing the voltage instability occurs when there is a dynamic attempt to restore the power consumption beyond the capability of the transmission network. So the voltage stability is also threatened when the disturbance increases the reactive power demand beyond the sustainable capacity of the available reactive power resources. So voltage stability is categorized into following subcategories, that is nothing but okay. So let's consider that the stability limits, what are the things which we are considering that. Okay, so means we should have some limitation before applying to the any stable condition of the system. Okay, so the definition, that is stability state limit, which is referred to the maximum power flow of the power possible through a particular point in the system without the loss of stability when there is small and the gradual disturbance which occurs in the power system. So next we have transient stability. This is referred to the maximum flow of the power possible through a particular point in the system without the loss of stability when large and sudden disturbance which occur in a system. So it will be soon observed that the TSL, there is nothing but transient stability limit, which is lower than the steady state stability limit. At this point, we introduce another useful terminology. Generally consider it is an infinite bus. So infinite bus is nothing but having constant voltage and a constant frequency regardless of the load variation on it. It is considered as infinite bus bar or infinite bus. So physically it is impossible to have infinite bus. So this is just considering for theoretical purpose. Okay. The rotor angle stability problem, which involves study of electromechanical oscillations in a power system. So for this we are going to introduce the two important mechanical constants which are useful in this aspect, that is the constant of M and H for the rotating machines. Since the synchronous machine, which is a rotating body which obeys the law of the mechanism applying to a rotating bodies, so it is assumed that it is already familiar with the various laws. So in this case, now we are going to brush up some fundamentals. So that is nothing but, so we know the kinetic energy of the rotor can be written as, so that is Ke is equal to half I into omega square. So where I is nothing but moment of inertia, which is in kg meter square, omega is nothing but angular speed in radian per second. So and the angular momentum, which is defined as, so considering that is m is equal to I into omega. So using this expression, so for the Ke, that is nothing but kinetic energy, we will get the Ke is equal to half m into omega. So that is nothing but, what is m? M is I into omega. So substituting this, so I into omega, so we will get m into omega, which is in joules. So where consider some of the terms. So that is nothing but angular momentum m, which is called as inertia constant, is not strictly a constant because which is consisting of angular speed omega, so which is varies somewhat during the disturbances. So also m depends upon the MU rating of the machine and the size of the machine. So it is convenient to have the another constant, that is h. Okay, it is also called as the inertia constant. So in this does not vary greatly with the considering of MUA rating and the speed of the machine. So H is defined as, so that is nothing but stored energy in megajoules divided by machine rating in megavolt ampere. Okay, at considering that G is nothing but the rating of the machine in MUA rating. So G into H is nothing but stored energy in megajoules. So GH is nothing but is equal to Ke, kinetic energy. Hence, so what we can written as GH is equal to half into I into omega square. So we know that what is I into omega square. Substitute that I into omega is nothing but m. So m into omega, it is in terms of mega joules. So where omega is nothing but 2 pi f for electrical radian per degree per second, and 360 f is nothing but for electrical degree per second. Okay. So these equations which links to the inertia constant, that is m and h. So h has some characteristics values or set of the values for each class of the machines. Okay, it is depending upon the type of the machine and the inertia constant, and for the different configuration it is water wheel generators. Okay, with considering slow speed and the high speed synchronous machine with the load varying from 1 to 5, and the turbine generators with considering of some different mm, part different speed of the rpm rating. So that is nothing but m is okay. So that is nothing but gh is equal to half m. Okay, omega is nothing but 360 f for electrical degree per second. So that is nothing but, so here, so m will become g into h divided by 180 into f. So int is important. So that is megajoule second per electrical degrees. So in modern power system, we have many interconnected generating situations. Okay, each with having several generators and many loads. So these machines generally located at far away from the load, and which are not separated by line or high reactance, usually which act in unseason or coherence. So it is therefore common practice in stability studies to consider that all the machine at one point as a single equivalent machine having a rating which is equal to the sum of the rating of several machines which are considered to act together. So the inertia constant, that is nothing but m equivalent is equal to the equivalent machine is the sum of the inertia constant of the individual machines. So that is nothing but the total number of the machine what we are considering. Okay, m equivalent to m1 plus m2 and the n number of the system, or we can read it as h equivalent and the g base. Okay, so this is nothing base value of the machine considering for the individual rating of the machine. So h1 into g1 for the generator 1 and g2 for generator 2 and n number of the generators. So hence the h equivalent we wanted to find out. So that is equal to h1 g1 divided by g base and s2 g2 divided by g base. G base is nothing but which is common to the base on a single platform. Okay. So it means that so these constant m and h can be applied for n number of the system. Let us consider the topic, that is rotor dynamics and the swing equation. Consider the generator which receives mechanical power, so that is PS, at the torque which we are considering is TS, and the rotor speed is omega, which is from the shaft to the prime mover. It delivers the mechanical, it delivers, there is an electrical energy, so that is nothing but the torque which is developed is T to the power system via bus bar. So generator will develops the electromechanical torque, that is T, which is opposite to the TS value. Okay, so when these torques are equal, the rotor would be unstable, a running position at synchronous speed. So it would be necessary to check the phase synchronization with the grid bus. So once the synchronization is achieved, it is possible to connect this generator to the system bus. So at this time we can consider that the generator which is in synchronous with a grid bus system. So when there is the torque difference between these two, resultant torque will accelerate the rotor of the generator, assuming that winding and the frequent losses to be negligible. So hence the accelerated torque of the rotor, which is given as Ts minus Te. Okay, so consider that this is equation something 1. Okay, on equation 1, then multiplying by omega on the both side for this equation 1, so that is nothing but omega into Ta is equal to omega into Ts minus omega into Te. So where omega into T is nothing but Pa, this is considered as accelerating power, and omega into Ts is nothing but the mechanical power input, and omega into T is nothing but Pe. This is the electrical power output, assuming that power loss is negligible, and therefore so Pa is equal to Ps minus Pe. Call this is equation as 2. Okay, and so we know that under steady state condition Ps is equal to P, so that the accelerated torque is going to be 0. So when the balance between the Ps and the T is distributed, so then the machine dynamics, which is given as Pa is equal to Ta into omega. We know that Pa is equal to Ta into omega, so that is nothing but we can write it as I into alpha into omega, so that is nothing but m into d square theta divided by dt square. Call this equation as 3. Okay, so where the alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square, which is the angular acceleration of the rotor. So since the angular position of the rotor is continuously varying with the time, it is more convenient to measure the angular position and the velocity with respect to the synchronously rotating axis. So that is the figure which is shown here. So this is the reference rotating axis, and considering that this is the theta between the reference and the rotor field, and this is the delta value. So from this what we can write it as delta is equal to, can be written as theta minus omega naught into T. Omega naught is nothing but it is a reference, and this is the theta value. So where omega naught is nothing but angular velocity of the reference rotating axis. So generally this is nothing but a rotor angular displacement with respect to the stator field. So taking that the equation, okay, this is the 4, okay, equation 4. So what we can write is differentiation for this value, that taking the time derivative, we can read it as d delta divided by dt is equal to d with respect to t, okay, d theta by dt minus omega naught, and the second derivation means second differentiation, we can write it as d square delta divided by dt square is equal to d square theta divided by dt square. So combining combining 2, 3 and the 4 equation can be written as, okay, considering 2, 3 and 4. So m into d square delta divided by dt square is equal to Pa, so that is equal to Ps minus Pe. Okay, so from using the equation 1 in terms of the inertia constant, H can be written as, so gh by 180f into d square delta divided by dt square, okay, is equal to, means is equal to Pa. That's, we know that Pa is equal to Ps minus Pe. See, already we had defined the value of the g, So that is nothing but the rating of the machine, which is in MVA. Hence, if we divided both the sides by G, okay, that is nothing but a rating. So we'd be setting, means we would be getting the value of the PS and the PE in terms of the per unit values. So that is nothing but H by, okay, G is the base value of the MEA rating, okay, by 180 of d square delta divided by d square, we will get PA is equal to PS minus PE in, this is in the per unit values, okay. So whatever the equation, you can consider that this is equation is 5, okay, and so this is the equation as 6, okay. So these are called as a swing equation. So what do you mean by swing equation? As which is going to describes the relative motion of the rotor with respect to the stator field as a function of the time. So that's nothing but we'll call it as a swing equation, or in other words, it is the fundamental equation which governing the rotor dynamics of the synchronous machine. So considering this, when there is an input mechanical power, that is PS, which is equal to the output electrical power, that is PE, then there is no accelerating power and the machine would be running at synchronous speed only. So if there is a load on the generator which is increases, it will increase the value of the PE and the rotor would tend to slow down. The slow action would be sensed by the speed governors, and it would be increasing the mechanical input, that is generally considered as PS, to bring the rotor back to the synchronous speed. So in same way, the reverse would be the case when there is an electrical load which is reduced. So when there is an electrical power which is reduces, the excess mechanical input power would tend to accelerate the rotor. The speed which is governed would sense this acceleration and would reduce the power input to the generators. So this is automatically bring down the rotor speed. Hence the reduction or increase in the speed will continue till the synchronous speed which is reached. So the ultimate aim is to that we know. So this should work at synchronous speed. So here and there, if there is any mismatch, it is the function of the rotor, that is nothing but the regulators, to maintain the system is in equilibrium condition. So let us consider that the swing curve. So it is observed that the swing equation is an second order differential equation. The solution of the swing equation, which is gives the relation between the rotor angle, that is delta, as a function of the time. The plot of the the delta versus t is called as swing curve. The exact solution of the swing equation is, however, very lengthy process. So normally it is solved in a digital computers using step-by-step method or employing some numerical solution techniques like Euler's method, Runge-Kutta method. So these methods are not discussing here, okay. The swing curves provides the information regarding the stability of the system. So in case of the delta, the rotor angle increases continuously with the time. The system will be transiently unstable. So as the machine continues to accelerate and does not reach a new state of the equilibrium, in multi-machine system, such machine will pull out of the steps and there is a possibility of losing the synchronism with respect to the other machines. So when if it reaches the maximum and start decreasing, it shows that the system will not be lose the stability, since the oscillation will be will will be damped out with respect to time. So it means that there is a critical point at this time we could able to bring back. So hence the system, there is a possibility of coming back to stable. If you don't have any controllability, then there is a possibility of it may lose the synchronism, and there is a possibility that the system may unstable. So it is the information, that is delta with respect to t is the very information value which is required to operate the number of the generator which are connected in parallel under synchronous condition.